Driven.
His Timo Shine and he's on the inside!
Oh, contact!
Pioneering.
Oh, bicycling up on two wheels!
Brilliant save. Look at Liar, gritted teeth.
Go.
Heroic.
Oh my goodness me!
Clara Anderson!
Limitless.
Kevin Hansen cuts through the grass. That's a brilliant move.
Relentless.
It is all the way round the outside from O'Connor, and that's a great bit of racecraft.
This is Extreme E.
Hyperdrive now.
Welcome to another edition of Electric Odyssey. On this week's show, we go behind the scenes in Scotland with Unfiltered. And we chat with mechanics from NEOM McLaren Extreme E team about their roles. But first, we catch up with new Legacy Motor Club driver, Patrick O'Donovan. After a year serving as the Extreme E Championship driver, 19-year-old Patrick O'Donovan finally got his first full drive with Legacy Motor Club at the Hydro X Prix. We caught up with the British rising rallycross star to find out how it feels to be behind the wheel.
My first Extreme E event that I came to was actually here last year, so it's quite a nice circle of symmetry to be back in the paddock and this time to be racing for a team. It's amazing to be in the car and to have the trust from Jimmy Johnson and everyone back at Legacy. A lot of people are always like, oh, don't meet your heroes, but I met Jimmy for the first time and he was so lovely when I met him there, and then I met him again at the Extreme H launch, and he was so supportive and happy, and he was like, if you've got any issue, just let me know. I'm always on the other side of the phone. So it's really nice to have such support from such a big name. It gives you a sense of confidence almost that someone like that is putting a lot of trust and faith into you. Gray's got so much experience in off-road motorsport, and she did an amazing job in Saudi. To be the youngest driver pairing Extreme E's ever had is pretty cool. It's nice to have someone else that's going through the same kind of experience as you. I think there's definitely an advantage in the sense of we'll have better chemistry maybe. Of course, it then comes with perhaps a lack of experience between the two of us, but hopefully together we can put it to good use and we'll have a nice pairing out of it. Being so young, I think it's quite a good pairing because we're both in a part of our career where we're trying to prove ourselves.
Gray led better, coming down the hill for Legacy Motor Club to take what is their best result this season.
It feels like there's a lot on the line for us, but at the same time, with such an experienced team and having some pretty experienced engineers and stuff behind us, it's quite a nice balance. They can keep you grounded, make sure you're not pushing too much. You don't want to do that either.
Into the right hand of this flag's been down a few times. O'Donovan makes the cut back and makes the pass.
I've raced against a lot of these drivers directly in other series, but of course never in Extreme E, so that's a new challenge. But I think you can make 1,000,001 plans, but as soon as you head into turn one, everything can turn upside down. A pretty good baseline is go fast, take chances. Of course you have to play smart as well because you got to make sure you're bringing the car home in one piece for the team.
Look
So
at
there's
that!
a good old battle going on. O'Donovan straight past, brilliant pass by him.
Part of the championship driver role is that it gives you such a diverse amount of skills. You get to do tyre testing, you get to do suspension development during the lead up to the event. So I think having to break that down and give that kind of feedback to the manufacturers, I think that definitely helps to prepare you. Competition is everything. I've often said it in the past and I'll say it again. I'd drive over my own parents to try and win a race if I had to. We'll stop at nothing to try and get that win. So I'm just looking forward to getting out there and seeing if we can put a spanner in the works for a few people. We're just going to be pushing as hard as we can to do the best result we can. At the moment I'm only in for one event, so we're going to try and see if we can prove why we deserve to be here.
We're in Scotland and it's my first time here and this place is beautiful.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome to Scotland. We are here, Scottish summer for you, in the beautiful Glenmuckloch. This is a disused coal mine, and it's also our setting for rounds 3 and 4, the Hydro X Prix. The standings are so close, the racing should be spectacular.
Feeling good, feeling excited. Happy to be back.
Good to see you too. Hello.
How are you? Sorry, very hard to like
Hug with the
helmet on.
You thinking an undercut?
Thinking of everything.
Oh, my girlfriend from FaceTime. Hi! Hi! Hey, the papa! Brrrr.
That's a good climb. Wow.
Are you feeling warm?
Hey. Are we sure we're going to do 2 laps or can we just enjoy this first lap?
You said you were an athlete, Kevin.
Yeah, that's why I'm saving my energy.
This is what you live for.
No, I live for driving, not walking.
Uphill makes the heartbeat start already now in the track walk.
Not easy. For the legs, for the car, maybe yes.
No way.
No, this I think is scary.
Oh,
No.
do not lift.
No.
That's a proper capture.
A lot of elevation, a lot of banking, but also off-camber corners. I think we will see some drama for sure.
And it's green in Scotland.
Molly Taylor on the inside, trying to come all the way around the outside for Sun Mini Mill. Is Timo Scheider goes through the deep water.
This is a penalty for sure, eh?
Clara Anderson comes down. There is a penalty out there. Car 8 is under investigation for switch zone, but this is the finish.
Oh, it's wrong!
Oh my
Shut
goodness
up.
me!
Clara Anderson repeats the massive shunt of last year at the line.
Oh my goodness me, that is a big one.
This happens so quick. When the car digs in on the front and then the ruts and the soft.
When you see an accident like that, it does get your heart going because look, motorsport's dangerous, we know that, and this is such an extreme course as well. So yeah, it's definitely nerve-wracking watching it, and I'm just really glad that she's okay.
Well, at the moment we try to get the car back in shape. After that big roll from Clara in Q1, the car rolled all directions, like 7 rolls from what I've heard. It's a big challenge now to sort out if we get it back on track. But the chassis is fine, that's a good thing. And it's amazing to see the support from other teams, especially from Axona. So thank you so much, I appreciate your help, guys. That's amazing. I've never seen that in any championship in my life. Clara is willing to race, willing to drive. She is now off for a second. She tries to reset herself, and then she tries to prepare herself for Q2. No problem. Same again, Clara, minus last corner.
Yes, I agree. You can see that yellow Sun Mini Mill car taking the inside line.
The Sun Mini Mill car looks good. The team have obviously done a fantastic job.
So the last race of the final, 3 cars on 14 points. Distraction challenge deciding between Rosberg, Sun Mini Mill and JBXC.
At the minute, it looks like RXR with this win are just going to scrape through to the final.
Michaela did a good job to take the car to the finish line, and we had a good enough super sector to then tied on points go through to the final.
You can do it. Go for it.
So we are ready for the grand final today.
A lot of wheel spin. RXR on the inside now. Taylor moves to the apex. She gets the whole shot. Hansen trying to get past RXR on the inside line, but Laya Sands is around the outside of Arlen Kotlinski. Arlen Kotlinski into Laya Sands. Timmy might be able to take advantage here. The RXR machine looks like it's crabbing up the road.
Your rear right wheel seems broken, Michaela.
So it's a disaster for the championship leaders. They have heavy damage at the start of the race. Watch out for the RXR machine. It should be on track somewhere here, and he runs into the back of the Acciona cycle machine again. Oh, the Andretti Autokila machine goes around. There was a downed flag there as well.
The Hansen always like crash into someone.
It is a win for Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor in the Veloce team.
Come on.
a baby. He's not a baby anymore. Eh?
In Extreme E, gender equality is not just limited to the driving teams. The championship is passionate about encouraging more women to take up senior roles in the sport. We met Extreme E's first female deputy race director, who covered this year's Hydro X Prix.
I was in motorsport since I was young because my father was involved in motorsports. I was race director in France at the beginning for historic racing, and then I was the clerk of the course for the Formula 1 in France and also for the 24 hours. The race director is the one who's managing the sporting side. So I'm here to help him to manage the people on site. In race control, we work with something like 10 people. You have the COC, the clerk of the course, who manage the marshal. We have the steward also with us in race control. We have by radio, the recovery team, the MDD team. In our team, it's a mix of women and men. Very interesting to discover how this extreme match team have a balance between male and female in all the roles involved in the event. The challenges of our role is to keep pace and don't let the pressure increase too much. When we have to deal with some incident, we need to stay focused and to pace the pressure.
Oh, and a flip for JBXE. That is an awful crash.
Red flag, red flag.
We had a tricky situation at the end of the session, and the race director had to take a quick and fast decision to react. So we sent the safety team and the recovery, the safety team to check the driver and the car. What I love is working with a team and to feel the pressure of the event. When you arrive on site, you have the pressure increasing, and to manage the races, to manage the session, so that's very interesting.
Don't go anywhere, there's still more to come on Electric Odyssey. What is a NOAA hyperdrive? Our Extreme E drivers explain. Part 2 of Unfiltered follows all the Round 4 action and drama. And we meet the non-profit organisation that is trying to make the motorsport industry a more inclusive place.
Camera's always watching like
always getting your early morning.
Paparazzi in Scotland.
Oh,
And me with this hair.
She has some battle scars, but I think she's looking pretty quick.
There was some showers last night in typical Scottish fashion. It's damp, it's not soaking wet. Some of the start lines have a little settled water in front. Other than that, the sky is blue, some clouds in the distance, and that's it for your Scottish weather report.
This is my present.
That was your present. Ah, that's nice.
In Scotland, you have to do this. You have to
That's a nice present.
I've got the wrong Hansen.
Yeah. I really want to get the whole shot in the start. That makes life so much easier on track.
Kevin Hansen for Veloce. They won everything yesterday. Can they do the same again today? Backward went early with the NOAA hyperdrive. He gets to turn 1 easily in the lead. O'Donovan gets a bit of understeer. Kevin uses the grass on the inside line. They're up to P3. Oh, look at the visibility. That's on board with O'Donovan. Look at his screen.
Yeah,
he cannot see anything.
Legacy are trying to replace a wheel
They
there
had a
as
puncture
well.
yesterday.
And Sun Mini Meal.
Want to pump it up?
neutral one. Oh, there you go. Visibility of the drone. We don't even have wipers on the drone.
So JBXC come down the hill. They come through the finishing line victorious. 12 seconds is the gap between them and Veloce. Well done.
Good drive. Good drive. Go.
You did awesome.
You did great.
Molly didn't stand a chance. You parked her, whipped her.
Fire,
Awesome.
let's go.
Fire.
Great start for RXR on the outside, on the inside view screen. JBXC race. Oh, and a flip for JBXC. They've gone flipping. That is an awful crash for JBXC. Amanda Sorensen just not having control on that gravel.
Red flag, Jenny. I'm gutted for JBXC. They were in prime position to go through.
You alright?
Yeah, she's out the car, I heard. So, yeah.
Thanks, Michaela.
Yeah, thanks.
Rosberg will be in the final because we'll get 10, 8 or 6 points.
And will be 10 also with a victory. You put here 10, and then McLaren with 8 is not on the final. So who come with 14 to the final? Andretti.
Let's get the start underway. It's the grand final. Who will be the winner? Who will be the champion? The RXR still slipping away. There was that contact potentially with Sainz, but they've got a clean start on the far side. Veloce have got a clean start as well, and they take the whole shot.
Super good. You're leading. You have a rear left puncture. She's right on top of you.
Go on, Katie.
Good job, good job. No, drive away, push, push, push.
Fraser McConnell is really closing in now. Molly Taylor down to 2.4. It's come down 2.3.
1 second behind, 1 second behind.
Fraser McConnell is here now as they come into the last few corners of the final lap here in Scotland. Molly Taylor is holding on here for a double win for E.ON next Veloce. It starts at 8.5 seconds. There's just a couple of tenths in it now as they come through the final 2 corners. Molly Taylor down the hill to complete a brilliant double at home for E.ON next Veloce Racing. Fantastic for her and Kevin Hansen.
One more corner.
Yeah, I know.
One more corner.
Yeah, if it was a couple more, it would have been.
Good race.
There are many different roles in the Extreme E paddock, but some of the biggest unsung heroes are the mechanics who build, repair and maintain the vehicles. We asked mechanics from NEOM McLaren Extreme E team to tell us more about their roles.
My role is basically to make sure the car runs smoothly, set up right and get good results, hopefully. We've got 4 crew in the car, so making sure they know what they've got to do, making sure that everything gets done on time, ready for the session.
Now, when we're building, I'll clean out the inside, make any adjustments to the driving position. When we're running, I'll do the driver swap. So during a switch, I'll take the insert out of the car for the drivers, and then in between sessions, just keeping on top of everything inside.
Here in Extreme E, the challenges are where we are. So in Saudi, when we're in the desert, really windy, really dusty, dust gets everywhere. So especially for simple things like charging, you've got to be really careful that there's no dust in the charging ports and things like that. So there's a lot more to think about.
It's so different, you know, like travelling to all these cool places is definitely one that as a child I dreamed about. So to be doing it now is quite special. When I was younger, my mum and dad used to race cars. My mum was the driver, my dad built the car. She was 2007 South East Ladies Champion. She loves it, she thinks it's crazy. I mean, I've asked her if she'd have a go, and she's like, yeah, I'd have a go. She's a petrol head, she loves it.
This job is so good, mainly because of the people that you've got around you. It makes such a big impact on who you've got around with you and the feeling in the tent. And obviously when you do get those wins, when we had that result in Saudi, it was the best result we've had with the team. Everyone was ecstatic to get that. There's lots of ways into motorsport. There's not just the electric side, there's all sorts of motorsport that you can get into. Club racing, karting, there's lawnmower racing, there's all sorts that you can get yourself into. And you can all build on that experience from there on.
I'd say don't be shy, definitely reach out, because as much as you might think, oh, I'm not good enough for that, do whatever you want. So just don't give up, go for it.
If you want to battle at the front of the pack, utilising the E09 hyperdrive to your advantage is key. But what exactly happens when you hit the button? And how do you use it effectively?
E09 hyperdrive is like an extra power boost that we get. So when we press it, we get 400 kilowatts and we get it during 4 seconds.
It is a good start, and he waits just a little bit longer to use the hyperdrive.
Each driver is allowed to use it once per race. So in total of each session, I'll use it once, Lara will use it once. It creates that strategy because the cars are identical, built the exact same power. That allows the drivers to, get creative in terms of when we're going to use it and try extract the most out of all that power we're getting.
I think for the starting driver, you have like 1, 2, maybe 3 plans beforehand, depending on what start position you have. After the initial takeoff, you kind of look around and see where the others are and then take the decision.
When you do the start as well, you have quite a bit of wheel spin when you go off the line. So it's very important to have the right timing when you hit the button. So you have to be very, very smart when the tires are gripping and when you hit the button right after. And then it could depend on the track situation when you're on track, the second driver.
When you're second in the car, then normally the engineer reminds you of when to use it, because you also have to use it. If you don't use it, it's also a penalty. Otherwise, if you're in a fight and you are fighting for position, then you can either attack or you can also defend yourself.
Basically use it for overtaking or for a good sector time in the Conti Traction Challenge.
Usually we talk a lot with the engineer and the other driver. We discuss a lot before, but sometimes plans change. If you have a really bad start and you see it from the beginning, maybe you keep it to try to overtake someone during the race.
Everything is always in the moment, so I could use it in somewhere where no one's used it all weekend and it surprise somebody and gain a position.
The other teams see who used it already.
They have hypered, save the hyper.
Or if you use it, you have on display the moment when you hit it. So you actually can tell us, the driver behind is using now, so defend or get ready, so you can shoot against it actually.
Yes.
I got a nice trophy for the E09 hyperdrive best moments in Chile, when I was exiting the switch zone with Matthias. Just didn't even think twice, just pressed the button and carried on.
Who's got with hyperdrive?
So it's McConnell
has
his hyperdrive.
I actually had the opposite. I came in and I forgot it.
No, did you? No, I think
Don't tell anyone.
I think my favorite hyperdrive moment was when I did the overtake on Utah in 22, and then immediately pushed the hyperdrive just to get a gap. And that was then my first move for a win in Extreme E, so that was nice.
Now she uses the hyperdrive. Boom.
Driven by Us is a non-profit group that supports underrepresented groups in the motorsport industry and empowers young people through career advice and networking. Extreme E invited the 2 founders to Scotland to share their story.
Driven by Us is a community that was set up just over a year ago to ensure that all of us that felt as though we didn't necessarily belong in the sport at some point could come together to ensure that not only did we have community and a safe space to speak about what we were going through, but also to accelerate our development within the space and ensure that the next generation could have an easier time than us and we could keep the ladder down in the process.
We've got quite a large portion obviously working in F1. Obviously we've got Extreme E as members up and down the paddock today here in Scotland. Also in GT sports car racing, whether it be as an engineer or mechanic or logistics or hospitality. So a vast range of roles within the industry. When I first transitioned to automotive, I wanted to go to F1. I remember someone saying to me, you don't just go from automotive to F1. I didn't really know what to say at the time, so I kind of took it as a challenge and like, right, I'm going to kind of meet that challenge and that's where I want to go, work in F1, and it was a dream.
For myself, I grew up in Peckham, southeast London, one of the best places, I would say. But there was no motorsport ecosystem there. But that is the same for a lot of people across the country. So that was one element, but there's also the big element where you see people in the paddock that don't necessarily look like you. I remember being in Extreme E for the first time, being the first person of color, for example. And that was okay for me because I said, as long as I leave this paddock better than I found it, great, and people feel like they can come here and feel included.
Extreme E over obviously the last 3-4 years has come on leaps and bounds. Obviously we've seen the launch of the Extreme H car, which is phenomenal in terms of the technology coming through. Paddock environment is fantastic. You know, it's focused on sustainability, the environment, highlighting various sustainability issues around the world and supporting local communities to kind of overcome those areas.
When it comes to Extreme E, I've been here from the very beginning, from the first pre-season test in Spain and Aragon, and from there I joined as a junior engineer, then became a performance engineer where we won the championship, and then my third year as the race engineer.
Multicultural society, everyone, all walks of life, just embracing that and having that kind of ethos within the culture, and the experience today at Extreme E has been one of those. You know, you feel very, very welcomed, very, very warm, everyone's really friendly.
A lot of these young people, they need a chance to be able to see what this looks like, so that from that point you can kickstart, you know, their careers ultimately, and people have done that for me. There's been so many people that I'm standing on the shoulders of that have got me to this place today, and if it wasn't because of them, it wouldn't be possible.